Shame is a useless emotion, it's a useless feeling. Hi guys, if you're here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Building Christiana. I honestly can't believe that I'm saying that really because I have tried to make this video so many times, but I've just told myself that shame is a useless emotion and I just need to do what I need to do. And this is me taking a huge step in walking in obedience with God. And before I start rambling, what is Building Christiana? Christiana came about from a vision that God had given me. In the beginning of this year, one of the things I set out to do has been to journal a little more, to be very consistent with my Bible study, communing with God, and really writing down all the things, all the ideas that He places in my heart. One of those people who have 1,001 ideas. I'm that friend that's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I have a million ideas, and what I resorted to was to start writing down my ideas. Even if I don't action on each of them immediately, I just make sure to write it down. For Christiana, it came from a very interesting place. I had actually journaled about Christiana. I will tell more stories on exactly why and how Christiana came about, but I'm going to talk about the scarf story because Christiana is essentially a fashion brand that will be focused on fashion accessories, mostly from fashion accessories that I love, but then things I think make people's outfits or would amplify an outfit. So scarves, brooches, cufflinks, those are the things that really I wear multiple times. I wear a lot, but then those are things I think we're losing as a society, and I'd love to bring that back. Why scarves? I cannot tell the story of Christiana without telling the story of my grandmother. So my maternal grandmother, I remember when I was thinking of a fashion brand, God had laid it on my heart and I had journaled about it. I was thinking, oh, it's accessories. What kind of accessories? I started to ask myself what kind of accessories I wear. And I thought about scarves. I wear a lot of scarves. I'm going to insert pictures here. But I wear a lot of scarves, and I was asking myself, when did I start wearing scarves? And I remember my first scarf was gifted to me by my grandmother, my mom's mom. And I remember it was a pink scarf, and she used to knit. She also taught me how to knit back in the day. She knitted a lot of mufflers and sweaters for me, so I just started wearing it because it was a thing my grandma always gifted me, and she wore a lot of them. And so Christiana is actually named after my grandmother. When I think of scarves and the things that I want to make, I think of being wrapped in love, and when in the way that I want to make these products, in the way that I want to develop these products, I want them to be essentially things that make people, when you wear it, you feel loved. When you wear it, you feel a sense of completion. I am still working through what that is going to look like. But I think one of the things that I want to talk about in terms of, this is going horribly bad, but I'm not going to stop because I've spent so much time being in my head and really overthinking what I have to say in these videos, and what I've just overthought the whole process, and I'm just going to go into it. I am still walking through, this is literally just my journey of going from, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, Lord. I know that I heard clearly from you, and you also sent me confirmation through different people, so I'm just going to walk in obedience. I think, to give more context, in the beginning of this year, just was so unhappy with a lot of things that I had done in the last year. Not necessarily unhappy, but it was just, I felt like I was repeating patterns, and God had placed a lot of ideas in my mind that I didn't get to action on, and I felt like I was failing God. And I refused to be the person that God trusts with an idea, and I fail Him because I didn't bring it to life. And so I started out the year with reflecting on 2024 and how the year went, what went well, what didn't go well. But in my reflection, one of the things I thought about was essentially me talking about not bringing these ideas that God has laid in my heart to life, either due to fear or due to shame, and I felt like I placed some other things over it. And one of the things I wanted to do more of this year was to just walk in obedience, not overthink things. Don't I feel like I start things and then I get this decision paralysis and I stop, but I want to actually have the idea, work on it, and complete it or execute on it. And I decided to fast for personal reasons, fasting and praying about different areas of my life. And I did that. I did a 1 week fast for 63 every single day. I was praying about my love life, I was praying about my job, I was praying about my workplace, I was praying about next steps, I was praying about these ideas that God has placed in my heart. And towards the end of my fast, I get a message, very random message from a friend that I went to high school with. We haven't spoken to each other in years, in almost 15, 16 years. And I remember thinking to myself, I'll look at that message later. With me, for Instagram, I always just save some time to look through my messages, reply everyone, and then close it out to the next time I do it. But then she sent me a message on Instagram and I was like, I need to see what this is. I felt a nudge to open the message and it was such a beautiful message talking about her and how she had dreamt about me and some of the things that ideas that God had placed in my heart, and how God is really just looking to me to execute on these ideas. It was a lot of confirmation for the things I was praying for. So that felt like such an answered prayer and I was so emotional. I was feeling like, oh my God, I can't believe you're answering me, Jesus. I can't believe that you're actually listening to me. But that wasn't the craziest part of things. When I got the idea for Christiana, I had journaled about it, where I said I was writing down these ideas, and I had journaled about it and just left it, forgot about it. And when I got confirmation on this dream from my friend, I realized that my friend's name is Christiana. So God sent me confirmation for an idea He had placed on my heart through someone named after the idea that He had placed in my heart. So I just feel like I'm in a place where I just need to walk in obedience. I've gotten all the confirmation I need. I've gotten all the, I don't know, there's nothing else. I don't have an excuse to not execute on this because I feel God is calling me to do this. And honestly, fashion design, pattern design, all the things I'm dabbling into right now, this is something I know nothing about. So I'm genuinely going from I don't know what the hell I'm doing to eventually figuring it out, understanding what I'm doing, and eventually thriving in doing it. And I'm just going with the strongest belief that God gave me this idea. God is pushing me and calling me in this direction, and I felt called to building something for the longest time, for so long. I've just been in a place where I was more concerned about stability and a sense of, I hated the feeling of starting something from scratch, like the feeling of not knowing how to do something. And I'm just documenting that journey. And if you feel like you're someone who either God is calling you to something, it could be similar to me, He's calling you to build things. I think we're placed on earth to create things. But if you feel like God is calling you towards something, or He's calling you to change certain patterns, and you just feel like this resonates with you, I'm going to share my honest journey, the ups and downs of it. That so far it's been hard trying to get myself to a place where I'm prioritizing doing this as well, because I have a job and I'm also trying to juggle and find what schedule works for me to really work this out. The only thing I would say is when God places ideas like this in our hearts, He also provides people and resources for you to execute on that idea. And I've experienced that. There's been so many things that have happened to me getting to the point where I'm making this video. And I'm sure I'll talk more about it. I'll tell more stories about it and also show behind the scenes and just documenting my journey. So if that's something that really resonates with you, if that's something that you feel is similar to the journey you're on personally, please subscribe to my channel. Please follow along. Share your journey. Let's be accountability partners to each other. Let's have this little community of people really building in faith, but not just that, people who are taking a leap into something that is different. I also want it to be a community of people who have collectively come to the realization that shame is a useless emotion, it's a useless feeling, especially because it's something that comes from you don't necessarily feel. I think it's maybe not shame, but embarrassment is a useless feeling, because you don't just get embarrassed by doing things. Like if I hit my leg, if I'm walking and I hit my leg somewhere, I'm sure I would be like, ouch, that hurt. But then I wouldn't feel embarrassed. But then if I was walking and I hit my leg or I stumbled and then I saw someone else sort of see me stumble, then there's that feeling of embarrassment. I think it's just an emotion or a feeling that's evoked by us considering how other people would have perceived what happened with us. And I just think that's a very useless way to live. I think I refuse to let that detect how I'm going to walk in obedience with what God has called me to. So if I need to stop saying, and this is like me videoing myself talking for the first time in a long time, there will be mistakes. I'm choosing not to focus on perfection, and I'm just hoping that you will be blessed watching me and my journey, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you guys. Thank you.